Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back again with another update for Beyblade Burst. But before I begin with this update, I'd like to give credit to the World Beyblade Organization for providing this information. Feel free to check them out. I'll post a link to their website in the description below. Alright, so I'm back again with another update, and this update is probably the most exciting and interesting update because we finally get to see some images of the upcoming generation of Beyblade Burst. So in this video I will be showing you guys these images, and I'll be giving my thoughts on them. Let's begin with God Valkyrie. So we've seen this Beyblade very clearly, however, we finally get to see some full rendered, detailed shots of the entire Beyblade. And I apologize that they are not colorized. These look almost like concept arts, but they are the confirmed designs. So we get to see the layer in detail now. And the first thing that popped out to me was the spring. So this Beyblade will have springs in the layer. Of course, we also get to see the added contact points to the wings, but we can clearly see that the disc will stick out quite a bit under the wings. And once again, we get to see that circular thing on top, with these extra notches on them. We're still not sure as to how that thing will work, or if it's just for design purposes, but it really does make the Beyblade look interesting. Next, we have a side view of God Valkyrie, and we can see from the layer that it will consist of two different parts. The two different colored plastics do overlap each other. We also get to see the disc, which seems quite wide, and the driver will have a star-shaped tip. From the bottom, we see the driver more clearly, but most importantly, we can see that it will have mode changes. The disc itself seems three-sided, so it will line up perfectly with the wings of God Valkyrie. Lastly, we get to see a full shot of this Beyblade, and while it may not be colorized, we can see every detail about this Beyblade. Once again, we get to see that circular thing on top, and it really does seem interesting. Next, we have Legend Spraygun. And looking at the layer, we notice that it is three-sided. Now this came kind of as a shocker to me because usually the Spraygun series is two-sided, but with Legend Spraygun it looks like they made it three-sided. We also notice these circular wheels on the ends of the layer. Now whether these are wheels or not, I'm not entirely sure, but it would make for a really interesting gimmick. With the layer being three-sided, it might actually be decent for attack. That is, if the teeth aren't horrible though. From the side, we get to see the layer, and the layer itself looks quite thick. The disc also seems very bulky. Most importantly though, we get to notice that the driver also has wheels on it. From the bottom, we notice that the disc is four-sided. And we also see the wheels more clearly on the driver. The tip on the driver seems like a ball-shaped tip as well. Honestly, this driver seems a little too gimmicky for Spraygun. And I'm hoping that the wheels on the driver do actually help, because usually gimmicky drivers aren't too good. And lastly, we have a full shot of this Beyblade. Overall, it almost does not look like a Spraygun Beyblade anymore, but rather something new. I'm hoping this Beyblade will be somewhat decent. Lastly, we have Blaze Ragnaruk. And this is probably my second favorite of the new generation of Beyblade Burst. We see from the top that the layer looks very circular, yet somewhat aggressive. From the side, we see the contact points are similar to that of Rising Ragnarok, however more rounded. The disc also seems quite wide in a sense that it sticks out a little bit over the layer. And the driver has wings on it with a sharp tip. From the bottom, we notice that the disc is very circular with some minor contact points. And the driver does have the wings. Whether these wings will do anything really depends. I know that DF-145 and Metal Fight was somewhat decent at stamina, so hopefully these wings will produce more stamina for the Beyblade. I'm also hoping that the driver will be good for stamina since Revolve was a pretty big success. And finally, we have the full shot view of Blaze Ragnarok. Honestly, I'm really digging this new look for Ragnarok, and hopefully the teeth don't ruin it. This circular look really does fit the stamina type that it's meant to be. That's it for these images, and I'm honestly really surprised and hyped with the upcoming generation of Beyblade Burst. It really does seem different, but my only concern is that the parts don't become too overpowered, because I'd still like to use my older parts. Anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts on these Beyblades. Feel free to comment them in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more updates on Beyblade Burst. And until next time, guys, see ya.